nobody can be said to know London who does not know a true Cockney. Now, if that is true, then London will soon be unknowable. To be a Londoner will mean nothing except that you've lived here for a few days while passing through. But I am so pleased that I got to know them, that I got to take them for granted as a child, to hear the last of their voices, their accents, their stories of hop picking and the Blitz, of the craze and how lovely it was to move to Dagenham with all the wire-fenced gardens. I am so lucky to have glimpsed it, even if I was born into the twilight of my own culture, of my own tribe. And Collins tells this story of a funeral of a relative of his who'd lived on the same street in southeast London since marrying in the 1950s. He calls them the original cast of the post-war years. Now, my dad is the second owner of the house where I grew up. And this house was built in the 1930s. He's lived there around 50 years. And when I was growing up, there was a lady on our street called Mrs. Waterman a few doors down who was an actual Victorian. And next door to my parents, there was an old policeman who lived with his Cockney wife. Now, the policeman is still there, but his wife died a few years ago. And at her funeral, it hit me that almost no one from the original cast of the street was there left to mourn her. And it felt as if it were a funeral for the whole community, a whole street of ghosts of weddings, births, parties, New Year's Eves, Christmases, all the landmarks of life. And then came all of the funerals of the last of that generation. With my grandmother went the shut your ass, and I realised that the accent had died with her and that the only place I was ever going to hear that again was on BBC archive clips. And we drank whiskey at her funeral listening to Chaz and Dave and I've Got a Lovely Bunch of Coconuts. And Core Lover Duck died with my great aunt Marge, and there were actually jelly deals at her wake. And most of the pubs now in that area are boarded up. The one where my great-grandma used to play ragtime on the piano was recently bulldozed. And it was such a privilege. Forgive me, I get choked up. It was such a privilege to know the last Cockneys. But I realise now